Hey, this is Josh,
And this is Mike.
and this is Must See Before You Die. And
That's
today we're
right.
going to be talking about the newly released horror movie, I guess, Megan. And it's by Blumhouse. And yeah, it's great. I mean, it's not, I wouldn't, okay, maybe great's too strong of a word, but I really enjoyed it. I very enjoyed this movie. Mike, what is the Rotten Tomatoes score of this movie so far?
If I'm not mistaken, it's the critics is a like astounding high 94% fresh,
Mm-hmm.
and the audience is really high too at 79%. So
Yeah.
it's one of the highest movie. And I know it's only been out a couple of days now, but it's one of the highest ratings I've seen on a horror
Right.
movie.
And so just to let everyone know, we are not going to talk spoilers right now, but we will have a point where we will talk spoilers for 2 or 3 minutes or something like that at the end, just
And
not now. No
we'll
spoilers.
warn you about that. So
Yes,
just
no
if you're
spoilers right
watching this,
now.
you want to cut it off that point, just cut it off. But
Right.
it'll be just the very end of the
Right.
show.
So your overall impression of this movie, Mike, what are some thoughts that you have? Maybe like one or two thoughts that you have about it.
What I like about the movie is the doll. I mean, the doll is it's not as, in my opinion, as creepy as Chucky, but the way they did the effects on this with the young actress that played the body, and then they had an older TikTok. I think her name's Jenna Davis. Anthony told me about her. I don't even know who the girl is. She's very popular on TikTok. She did the voice of it. I thought the way its movements were, is just really good. I mean, the doll itself to me steals the show, and then the one-liner, comedy stuff throughout the stuff throughout the movie is great too. So definitely competition. I think you've told me this in the past. Definitely competition there with Chucky going forward.
So to me, there's no comparison with Chucky. Chucky is actually a serial killer,
I
a
agree.
soul in a body of a doll. This is not. This is just a doll that's connected to with a little girl or whatever. So it's totally different in my opinion. It does go off the rails at some point, but it's different. And I do like the story of this movie, Mike. I actually
Mm-hmm.
like the story a lot. It does have comedic stuff in it that I found somewhat funny sometimes. The acting by the little girl, um,
Great.
the Katie is her name. She was really good in it, except for one part I didn't like. I don't know if it's not spoiler, is it? I don't know. I'll save it. But I didn't really care for one part with a little girl. But and then the person that played Megan was really good. And yeah, the eyes of Megan, sometimes the way she just looked just creeped me out, dude. And there was actually a part in the movie where like a very not important character was like, "Whoa, that's creepy!" like because I thought it was an actual child and it wasn't.
Yep.
So I like that. The kills for me could have been a lot more bloodier. They could have, and there could have been maybe a couple more. But that's not what this one was about. I feel like if there is sequels to this movie, they might get further onto that. You know what I mean? I feel
Yeah.
like this movie was setting a tone into like a different feel than just like outright Chucky murdering people bloody. You know what I mean? It was different than that, in my opinion.
Yeah. I kind of, one of the downfalls I think of the movie is intentionally set to attract to the masses.
Yes.
You can see that up front. I think originally this was the MPAA took 5 minutes
Rated R.
out of it and moved it
It,
down from an R rating all the way down to a PG, or is it PG 13? PG
yep.
13.
PG
So they
13.
took, and they're that, down the road another 4 or 5 weeks, whenever this starts to soften down to the box offices, they're going to add that, I'm sure, back in, so you can see more in it in the streaming R-rated version.
Yeah.
But one of the concerns I had about the movie, I thought it was very predictable. I mean, there was nothing in this movie that shocked me at all. I mean, I could see it coming a mile away. Now, for most people, I went with my son, who is 12 years old. He's not 13. He was jumping some in it. My wife, she thought it was an okay movie too, but I thought it was a little bit too predictable.
I
But
get that.
the doll itself was fabulous. I think
Incredible in my
you're
opinion.
going to see a part 2, a part 3, a part 4, and on with this because there's just too much money to be made there.
Yeah, it's really good, and Blumhouse, they hit it out of the park for sure. So I think that's kind of where we should end here, Mike. And now we should talk about some spoilers.
Well, we want to give a rating first before we do the spoilers.
A rating? Okay. I'm gonna go high. I'm gonna give this. I really enjoyed it. I'm gonna give it a 4, Mike, out of 5.
Wow, that's really good. So
Yeah.
you're right there with the audience, giving an 8 out of 10, and yours would be 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I enjoyed it that much.
I'm gonna say it's a little bit above average. I'm gonna give it maybe a 3.5.
Okay.
The reason why, I needed more blood, for me being a horror and thriller and scary movie, I wanted a little bit more blood in it. Now, maybe if I watch the R-rated version, I might say, it's a lot better. But it was so predictable for me, and I did not get scared one bit in the whole movie. I mean, there was no jump scares for me or anything. So
so what I think this movie wouldn't be bad for a rewatch, Mike.
I agree.
Also, definitely when they release the uncut version, the rated R,
we need to do another show for that.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do another review because a lot of the kills were sanitized a lot. So I want to see what they did, what they cut. I really do. I'm very interested in that. So, but yeah, I'll say 4. You say 3.5. That's pretty close. Yep. Mike, let's get into some spoilers here.
All right, so cut this off right now if you don't want spoiler alert, and I'll put a big spoiler alert on the screen right here.
So
let's get into a couple minutes worth of spoilers, Josh. Go ahead.
Yes. Okay, now we're into spoilers. Okay, so the kills, like we said, very diluted. I mean, some of these people are just killed off screen. You don't even know what happened to them until they describe it. A dog ended up getting killed, and it's killed because she grabs it, but later she describes that the dog, because the owner's like, "Where's my dog?" And she's like, 4 feet this way and 5 feet in the ground. And I was like, whoa. And then there's something that I see in this movie that I have never seen. Maybe you've seen it before. Death by power washer, Mike. I wanted to see that kill full blown. I mean, yeah, because if she put that pressure on her face, it could just rip the skin away and stuff. I want to see that, don't you?
Well, they always say too, with power washers, don't hit your skin with it because it can create bubbles in your bloodstream, and that can go to your heart and kill you. So I've always been told, hey, never point a power washer, at anybody because it could kill you. But yeah, the way they killed her with a power washer, I've never seen that.
Yeah.
The R version of this, I hope, shows a lot more because there's a really good scene where the lady, I mean, of course, this is a spoiler alert, we told you, where she gets shot with the like a little nail gun. That could have been awesome, showing more details of that, more blood. I mean, it just shows it going in the skin with no blood hardly at all coming out.
So, so the mission of M3gan is the woman tells her, the creator, God, I can't remember her name right now, but she told M3gan, Gemma. I don't know. She was like, your primary mission is to protect Katie from physical and emotional harm. So M3gan is doing that. Now,
she does everything she's supposed to do.
That's right. So it might be taken to a different level, but in M3gan's mind, she's doing exactly what she was programmed to do. Right, Mike? And I'm going to tell you, there is such a touching scene in this movie because this little girl, Katie's dealing with her parents dying. And there's a real touching moment in this movie where M3gan actually does help this little girl get through, saying, I'm going to forget my parents. I don't want to forget these memories I have of my parents. And M3gan helps her with that and saying, I can record what you're saying, and then I'll store it forever. And I'll always have those memories. And I thought that seriously was a really cool scene, Mike. I mean, it wasn't a kill or nothing, but emotionally, it was really cool in my opinion.
It was really cool, but it was also, to me, I just thought, what a bitch M3gan is, because she's doing this intentionally to sell herself to the masses, with the AI intelligence down the road. And, this thing they could go so many directions with down the road where this M3gan character infiltrates other M3gans that are created elsewhere. Right. I mean, they can go a ton of directions with this, which I want to give them credit for the screenwriters and Blumhouse on this. I mean,
So one of
Really
the
had some great directions with it.
right. So one of the things is that Megan is like a supercomputer. Basically, she can like infiltrate if it's internet accessible. She can get into it and control it, right, Mike? And so I'm gonna tell the end of the movie right now. Megan, the physical Megan, ends up getting destroyed, but her consciousness or whatever she is transferred. She transfers it into like a little home device thing,
Yeah, on
and
a
so
counter.
right. So I'm thinking that in future movies, they'll somebody, maybe a competitor, like they said in the movie, creates one of these things, and she can get herself into the bot. Is what I'm thinking.
That's a spoiler as well. That somebody during the end of the show, they download everything
Well,
over to their. I mean, yeah, you're right. Maybe
right.
that's already given to a competitor to open it up.
Yep. Yeah.
Um, and the Megan stands for, if I'm not mistaken, the M3. You know, 3 is coding. Years ago in the 2000s, early 2000s, M3 coding was what everybody did behind the scenes in computers. So the
right.
M3 part of that, and then the G is, I think, generational AN for Android. So that's what the M3 GAN does. I do want to say this real quick, and I probably should have said this in the first part of this before the spoiler. I think this movie does women justice, and it has very strong characters that are women.
Yes.
They're
Yes.
not relying on men.
Nope.
The main character that brings in the daughter, she's probably the most non-maternity person I've ever seen on the screen.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
she is a strong woman. She's smart. She invented this, Megan.
Yep.
And the little girl's a strong character too. Megan's a strong character. So it really uplifts, I think, women, if you want to say that in a horror movie.
Yeah. It
but
does.
it makes them look like strong, independent
So
women.
So what I like about it, Mike, is that her boss is kind of one of these guys that doesn't have any good ideas. He doesn't do anything, but takes the credit for this crap.
Yep.
And so her boss is a man. And so I like the part where they actually, the higher boss up than that boss says, hey, we need to give this girl a raise and give her a higher position in this company because she's the most valuable person in this company.
Right. Yep.
And then her boss was just like, yeah, he didn't care for that. But what could he say but sit there and just deal with it, you know?
Yep.
So I did like that. I don't want to go on too long with this, Mike, but go see the movie for yourselves. Let us know what you think, and let us know what you think. Maybe future installments of Megan, because you know there's going to be a sequel. This movie's a hit, a box office hit already, guys. So let us know.
2023 has started out with a bang with the Megan, and you know, I think you definitely got to watch it. Even though I gave it a 3.5, it's definitely worth watching. It's still probably going to be streamed in about a month with R-rated if you want to wait and see that version as well.
Yeah.
Thank y'all.
Bye, guys. Like, comment, subscribe.
All right. Bye.